Good evening, everyone. The word for the day is contemplation, which means deep, thoughtful consideration of a subject or an idea. I thought it would be a good choice for to be the word of the day because the theme being goal, then and now. So there is talking about the etymology of the word. It comes from the Latin word contemplare, which means to contemplate or to observe. But there is a historical or religious relevance for this word. The prefix of the word con means together, and temporary is something that is related to the word temple. And it actually comes from this Latin word contemplare. In ancient Rome, temple was not just a place for worship, it was also a place where people observed the celestial bodies. So this deep, thoughtful process they used to observe, and from that observation, they used to conclude what was going to happen, or they used to predict the future. So that was how the word emerged. And the synonyms are reflection, meditation, pondering, etc. So the usage of the word in sentences can be, after much contemplation, she decided to pursue a career in dance. So that is the usage of the word in sentences. And here, since we are talking a lot about goals and goal setting, in our journey to be a better speaker, being a Toastmaster is actually designed in such a way to make us better speakers, equip us with better communication skills and leadership skills. So, which is that one thing which help us to be a good communicator and good leader? For a good leader, what is one skill?
Very good. Good communication skills. Patience.
Patience. Okay, I think I would say this: the power to influence. You need to have the power to influence to be, because leaders need to have followers. If you are not able to influence people, people don't follow you. So in our journey to be an influential speaker or an influential leader, a goal for each one of us in the room today would be to use less weak words and speak with lesser weak words. Weak words are those words which are like, for example, very, just, really, this thing. I've seen many of us use this thing when we search words and we don't get it, we end up saying this thing. So these are very, very weak words. So instead of that, we will replace these weak words with strong words. So this will be a challenge for all of us today, including me. And let's see how many of us reach our goal at the end. And for example, for example, if very can be replaced, for example, very is one word we mix with most of the words. Very good, very bad, very important, very happy, very sad, very small. So these can be replaced, like very good instead of very good, it can be excellent. Very bad can be awful or terrible. Very important can be crucial. Very happy can be delighted. Very sad can be tragic. So it's just one weak word that I explained. So instead of these weak words, let's use influential. Let's have influential word choice in our speech today. Good luck to everyone. Thank you so much.
What do I say about this Toastmaster? Committed, he's a team player, gets involved in things the minute you ask him to. And what I observed about him was that, trying to take up a role and come and stand in front and talk about it, he needs a little push, or rather extra push. But once he gets on, he can rock. Toastmaster brother.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. My role as a
our counter is to note and keep track of words and sounds used as a crutch or pause, filter by anyone who speaks during the meeting. The use of inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, like, as well as sounds like These are the words which I will be noting it out, and end of the meeting I will submit my. Thank you so very much.
I need to get my phone. Because I have the. What do I say about this person? She is one who can take up any role that you offer, can be there no matter whether it is our meeting or the Gravity's meeting, can be there to judge or take up any role, boost morale. These are few things that I could think of. There's something else I would, and most people know about it, but I would still want talking about later. But this is what he had said. If someone were to ask if I've achieved all the goals I said 5 years ago, my answer would be no. Not at all. 5 years ago, I was focused on learning, being productive, and striving for success. Today, my specific goals may have changed over time, as life has a way of shifting things around. One goal has remained constant, keep growing. 5 years from now, I hope to look back and see that I have become a better person than I am today. This is exactly what I was saying, that situations can be thrown at you at different stages of life. How do you make use of that situation and reset your goals can make better impact, outcome could be positive, really positive. So that is something that even she had said. And as a timer today, I would like Toastmaster lady to talk about timing. And after she does, I want to say a few other things about her.
Oh God.
Yes. Today, today, as we reflect on goals then and now, I am your timer helping each of you face with your goals for this meeting. Goals often evolve over time, just as each speaker here today grows with each speech. To help everyone stay on track and manage their time effectively, I'll be keeping a close watch on the clock. For, for prepared speeches, speakers have 5 to 7 minutes. I will show the green light at 5 minutes, yellow at 6, and red at 7. For Toastmaster Sukumar, who has an extended time of 8 to 10 minutes, I will signal green at 6, yellow at 8, and red at 9. For evaluations, the time is 2 to 3 minutes, with green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. For table topics, speakers have 1 to 2 minutes. I will signal green at 1, yellow at 1.5, and red at 2. For lighter moments, the speaker has 2 to 3 minutes. Green at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. Each speaker will have a grace period of 30 seconds to wrap up. Time is precious, just like the goals we set. Let's make every moment good.
Now it's my turn to talk about that. Actually, it's a mixed feeling because she was in a club. Sorry, in the master mistake, but
Yes.
Just remember, she was.
Let me.
Sure.
No, I'll tell you here. There is a change in the order of the speech because our evaluator for this first speaker has not arrived. So she will be speaking last and the other two speakers will be speaking.
So what about you with Mascot? Yeah, talking about that. I do have a little personal relationship with her dad because we are from the same industry and I known him for quite a number of years. And to know that they are going to leave the island for good after spending 42 years on this beautiful island, they're going on to chase their other kind of dream or do other things. And Nidhi will be traveling, and we were hoping that we would have some of our senior members today to be here. Sadly, I did try to get them, but they have another. Dr. Babu is traveling. Dr. Suresh is supposed to come back. Must have come back today. Rekha has been with some other assignment. So this therapy is also busy with his son's wedding. So we couldn't have the old members, but most of us are here, and we would wish her the very best. I want to use a little small little game which goes by the name of Champ. It's just a minute, but we don't have 1 minute. Instead, we will use 30 seconds. What we will do is, we used to do this in my former club, where we would start. It's just like the Antakshari. If you have played Antakshari, it's something like that. Since it's all Indian, so it's okay. Everybody understands Antakshari. So here, what we are going to do is, I would start the topic, I will talk about it, and then whichever side starts can either start with the last word or start with the same topic, or you can just talk whatever you want to. As long as you talk, that's your whole idea. Standing up and talking for 30 seconds. So here we go.
You have to give the rules of jam, right?
Oh, the 30 seconds is what we will have. And the minute you touch 30 seconds, our timer would show the red button. So one minute she puts the red on. Whether you continue with your sentence or you're going to break it halfway, it is fine. You stop and give a chance to the next person.
You're not supposed to stammer, stutter.
Yeah, you can just, I mean, the whole idea is for you to feel comfortable, I mean, all of that, and then talk about whatever that comes to your head at that point. It is, it's basic idea is just to talk so that you feel nice.
So
Warming up, it's a warm session.
yeah, exactly. There's nothing about this jam.
It's the subject.
I said no rules in your jam.
No, see, the point is, if you can continue with the same sentence, the last word that is uttered, it'll make it more interesting. But then the idea is for people to stand up and talk.
You're not supposed to stop, no colloquial word, no stutter, no stammer, no
The
pauses.
reason why I stopped was nothing is for the red line, I said, my God. But they can't see the visual. Okay, here I go. Okay, we can see me as well. 2 weeks ago, I had a goal. I set a goal for myself. I would start walking. Just to get a shape. Yeah, round is a shape, okay, so don't have to tell me. So I was looking at getting it a shape, so I thought I'll start walking. And then Diwali happened. And then the sweets happened. I'll continue with the sweets. So I told myself that when I stop eating sweets, and the sweets get over, I would start going for my walk. Walk. And to start with you.
Walking in the same thoughts as my friend Murli. I had Diwali as well. And it was not just sweets, but it was a plethora of sweets that I had to encounter. It was a barrage that would never stop coming. And at the end of the day, I did not have any of these goals that he had. But I ended up at the same destination that he ended up.
You can speak anything, yeah.
This Toastmasters meeting. Continuing where he left, Diwali still continues. I have another Diwali function to attend after this meeting. And instead of, because I had the goal of walking every day, setting a time. However, with these Diwali rites and Diwali celebration not coming to an end, I don't see this goal being achieved in the near future. Okay? Future.
I am very much optimistic about my future, and I'm sure you also. Talking about future, it's all about goals, setting up goals, working very hard to achieve those goals. I'm sure that with today's theme, we are very much, reminder ourselves and had a eventful of thinking process to reach that goal.
Talking about goals, the first thing that would come to my mind is the World Cup that happened at the end of 2022. And let's say it was a very depressing game for me because I was supporting France and I absolutely find Argentina disgusting for some reasons. And that whole 70 minutes happened to be traumatizing because it felt like France was sleeping throughout the game. And it felt like they had no vision towards the goal. And suddenly, out of nowhere,
Nowhere will you go if you keep eating Diwali sweets every time and not giving it up. Round is one shape, but there are many other shapes you can talk about. But sweets is just one option. There are many other foods that you can keep chunking and not walking. So goal is to keep walking and not just talking about walking. So I hope that people can implement their goals to shape up their bodies from becoming round into becoming what they need to be. So instead of having Diwali sweets and walking and scrolling and rolling.
Walking and walking. Let me tell you about my goal. I'm very constant in setting up my goal. Every year I set the same goal. I want to reduce my tummy. I want to make it flat, which is already goal. So what I do is on 2nd of January, 1st of January is the holiday. So 2nd of January, I start walking. I walk for 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, I reach up to 5 kilometers. And then I stop. Kilometers and kilometers. How many kilometers I walking? And it's a good thing of walking as well. And also celebrating festivals. And I don't have any issues. I can go ahead and celebrate. Thanks to my father, I got his deal. And I can eat whatever I do. I do a bit of an exercise, and that keeps me going. And as far as goals concerned, yes, I do have goals, but not very ambitious ones. Some of them, whatever I can do it, I always go with the small shorter goals. Good. So,
everyone is talking about walking and short goals. Coming to me, my goals every time it changes. Even I keep one goal, set one goal, I keep on resetting it. I'm a person who always reset the goals. And sweets, I love sweets, almost all as well. But it does not help me. It's a problem if I'm sleeping.
no, why is Yeah, exactly, that is what always happens when I'm sleeping. When I'm sleeping, I'm always thinking that I'm going to start my work. Okay, because I never do exercise. Once in a while, I just went outside, walk. Again, yeah, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, came back, slept, color. One week, 2 weeks, all color. Then again, I was thinking, when I work last time, now I do or not to do. When I'm thinking like that, then
Thought or thinking. I'm one person who never think because my mom always complains that you are so immature and you don't think before you do something. But talking about goals, I've been very clear about my goals, and it is always one goal, and it is happiness. I live to be happy, and when I say happiness, it's not just my happiness that I talk about. It's about happiness that happiness of everyone who surrounds me. And this actually, when I tell this is one. Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks and happiness. Yeah. It was a beautiful quote. She said, "No, Loka, Samasta, Sabino Bhavantu." Let everyone around you be happy. Don't judge anyone. Uh, Encourage everyone, and let everyone bloom and become their best possible self. That's a very beautiful goal. Saying that, I am a very procrastinating type of person. I set so many goals. I make plans for New Year and I break it mostly in 1 or 2 weeks. So presently, in my state of mind, finished now.
Mind.
My
My mind, after serious contemplation, have realized that my ultimate goal then, now, and will always be to be at least half as good as my mother. So, I don't know if there's some magical power she has. You see any social gathering which she's attending, the moment she steps in, she turns it into an event. It's like the spotlight finds her magically. So, at least magic. I'm a person who believes in magic the least. I'm kind of a realistic person who sees things realistically, trying to figure out things the practical mind. Coming to goals, I always believe in setting short-term goals rather than long-term goals, and I do not believe in setting a goal on Jan 1st because it's just a date. Whenever we come across a situation.
situations put us in tough places sometimes. Good, sometimes bad. I have been met with many situations in life, but at the end of the day, I always thank God for bringing me in those situations. Because what I learned of experience is that as long as your intentions are right, every situation comes with a good reason. If you're in a bad situation, there's probably something good in it for you. If you're in a good situation, there's probably something better in it for you. As long as your intentions are right with God, thank every situation as it comes towards you. Thankfully, I've been in bad situations, which a few years later, there's an amazing situation.
In this situation, like when we are talking about this goals and walking, so I would say like goals are something that will be defined and desired once you start doing it or once you start experiencing. So as we said, even most of the people they say like they had mostly they prefer short-term goals rather than long-term goals. Even I most of the almost like that. And once I started doing that goal, so I ended up in finding some other some other short-term goal the next goal.
I'll speak about goals. It took me an year to identify what is my goal. Almost an year. Last November, I joined Toastmasters and I realized that I am a procrastination master. And now, since I have realized that my goal is to improve my communication skills, so I'm rigorously working towards it. Thank you.
Actually, last word was mine.
Just say thank you.
That was a difficult word I would say to start with, but in my mind it was going all about goals. And what I was wondering, one point which I was thinking now, and that was, for example, everyone might be having some or the other goal in this room. Just a thing I would like to ask, for example, if you are given a chance whether tomorrow you will be achieving your goal, okay? And the second day, if you are about to die, do you want that goal really badly, or do you want to live for some more time?
Thank you.
Yeah.
30 seconds, all of us took 30 seconds, so I'll stop because the timer was on a different role. Now that our evaluator has arrived, as usual.
From next time you are timing for you. Yeah, actually, then you are right about that. He's still calling it.
Let me tell you about our evaluator. He is one of the youngest in the Toastmasters in our club, but the youngest businessman that I know of who can pay off anything that you can think of. And when you go into his outlet, you can be sure that you're going to walk out with something. Even if you didn't have any friends, he will make you buy one. Just like he talks about the people in Kashmir, in the waters, when your boat comes. The other day I was talking to one more Toastmaster who said, they literally come and sell things. I guess that's in his genes. So, though he comes in like a celebrity, I would like you to read out the objective of our first speaker.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. Today, for once, I actually was 15 minutes early.
Where?
So we are and then I realized I have my phone. So I called it out. And I was 20 minutes late. Well, however, today, the speaker who's going to be presenting the level 1 project under the pathways dynamic leadership will be Hidayat Krishna. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice vocal variety or body language to enhance the speech. The member will present a well-organized speech on any topic. You'll be watching for the members' awareness of the intentional movement and body language. No distracted movements as well as the movements that enhance the speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style of the member. I wish best of luck to the speaker.
We're talking about a speaker, a dedicated professional involved in the banking industry. She may come across as a shy person, but once you start talking to her, that's when you realize she is pretty open to having a conversation with you. A dedicated, ambitious, and a goal getter. And if she sets her mind on something, you can be sure that she goes all the way to get that achieved. Because I am the mentor, and very soon I'll be asking her, how do you do the next project? Because she is really going fast and doing a great job at it. Today, our speaker, Toastmaster Hidayat Krishna, would be doing her L1 P2 project, Beyond the Silence, My Inner Journey. Beyond the Silence, My Inner Journey, Toastmaster Hidayat Krishna.
see things and I keep quiet on them and I understand. You may think I'm small, but I have a universe in my mind. Good afternoon, Toastmaster of the Day, role players, distinguished guests, and my fellow Toastmasters. I want to start with a little confession. Well, I'm an introvert. And I know what you all are thinking. Yes, I'm the one who deeply invested in their mobile phones at social gatherings. Trust me, I'm not checking any urgent emails. I'm just avoiding the eye contact. Now, for any extroverts in this room, I should explain. Being an introvert means I recharge within my little cocoon far away from the people. You may recharge by plugging yourself into others. It's very simple. It's just like the solar power versus the battery. Today, I'm going to reveal, pull back the curtain, what it's like to be an introvert. Let me start with social gatherings or any parties. Imagine I'm getting into a social gathering and immediately I started questioning all my life choices. I'm thinking, why I agreed coming to this party? How do I blend with this background? Everyone is mingling with others, chatting away, and I'm there over in a corner thinking and finding out the best escape route just in case the things get too social. Then suddenly I spotted someone I know. Then my dilemma starts. Should I say hi? What if they don't want to talk to me? So I stand there for a while, and inside my brain, a debate is going as if whether I'm deciding to jump off a cliff or not. And after a few minutes, finally I decided. I walk over and gently I say hi. And then nothing. The conversation dies. The dead silence. In fact, the silence is not dead. The conversation was not born. Then, one of my biggest fears as an introvert is phone calls. Yeah, I know it sounds dramatic, isn't it? But for me, phone calls are sudden surprise attacks in audio form. There is no preview for phone calls. If you send me message, I get to read it, draft 3 responses, then delete all, then finally settle with the word okay. But when the phone calls, I have to respond instantly, which is terrifying. Then there is something special about how we introverts communicate. We don't think before we speak. You heard it right. We don't think before we speak, we overthink. We edit, draft, and do spell check in our head before we speak. Every sentence, we go through this process. So next time, if you see me tossing and nodding, it's not because I am a deep philosopher. I'm just editing my sentences to make it socially approved. Then, speaking about overthinking, I want to share with a recent incident happened during a break in our meeting. I don't remember when exactly, but in one meeting at our break, Toastmaster Saji came to me and casually he asked me, how's my diet going and all? And there I was with a big buttery croissant in my mouth. Of course, not my big moment. You think the story has ended? No. The whole night, I was overthinking. That innocent question of Toastmaster Saji turned into 5-part series titled Toastmaster Saji and My Diet, the Croissant Chronicles. Being an introvert, you may see I'm keeping quiet. It doesn't mean that I don't have anything to say. It is because there is an entire movie playing in my head filled with observations, analysis, and occasionally some moments of awfulness. But deep down, I'm a happy true soul. I feel that embracing this side of myself helped me to stay connected with my inner self. And that helped me to connect with small moments and be happy in that moment. So, if you all will just excuse me, I'm going to find a place where I can hide in peace. Thank you. Thank you.
When I introduce her at somebody's side, it's all that takes from us is to go and talk to her and to see the different side of her. Though she processes and all that, it's like the chat GPT, which comes back immediately. Our next evaluator, I don't know whether to call him a traveling boy or a traveling man. Because if I can remember, most of the time in our Toastmaster meeting, he always talks about traveling, especially his travel in India, travel for studies, traveling to meet his girlfriend. He's always traveling. You know, he stands what, 6'4", and his dream is to become 6'5". But that's the goal. His goal is to grow taller than 6'4". So he is the youngest Toastmaster, but the tallest in our club. And today he's going to evaluate another Toastmaster. So before he starts, let me ask Toastmaster Dawn to read out the objectives. Speaker number 2.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I will be evaluating Toastmaster Vivek Tilakan, who is doing his level 1 project in pathway 2, and the pathway is strategic relationship with the title Just Tap. I wish the speaker all the best. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's around. We look after him, so it's okay.
The objective of the speech is for the purpose of this project is to learn and review the basic methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose and to well present it in an organized speech. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you. First time I spoke to this Toastmaster, I don't know how many of you can recall this Malayalam movie. There was a dialogue of this person, and perhaps you like the actor. So that Toastmaster also has the same name. And what made me look at him was his sense of dressing. He always stood apart when it comes to dressing, especially for a Toastmaster. I mean, the vest that he wears, and those thin ties that he wears, definitely catch my attention. But he's popular not because of that. He is popular for all his memes. You know, I think this is the first Toastmaster who, after every meeting, takes time out to not just post the pictures, but also have a caption under each picture. And that is something that I really look for. And with this topic today, just that I was thinking of the WWF or something where you tap out if you want to stop the other person from choking you or whatever. Toastmaster Vivek Tilakan with this L1 project, level 1, project 2, funding strategy relationship, which is going to be discontinued in the pathway program. I wonder how he's going to go forward. That will leave it to him. Just that, Toastmaster Vivek Tilakan.
The speech is less about tapping and it's more about the icons that you tap, right? I'm going to be clear. Let's start with this question by a 10-year-old Japanese kid. This kid posted this and said, why is the save button in Excel a vending machine with a beverage below? So that makes me question, how many of you have used a floppy disk?
Hello?
All right, so we got people questioning it. All right, and that's what this guy comes up. And his sentence actually encapsulates what this whole thing is about. Design icons are also a historical language, right? And I'm going to explore what exactly I meant by that. Let's start with a different kind of a question. A Google search bar, which has a microscope, and old Microsoft Word, which has this binocular. With a binocular, you see a lot of things from afar, but a microscope is actually used to zoom onto something, yeah? In Google search, you need a lot of links, while this actually helps you find out a word in the document. So the purpose of these two icons are actually the opposite, isn't it? That's just a detour of what we're going to explore today. These are some icons that we see in our softwares. You have a floppy disk. You have a paste button, which is a clipboard. That is only seen in the hospitals now. You have a film to indicate video. Are any of us using films? No. You have this call. How many of us use mobiles? Much more than the regular phone. Regular phones are very less. And you have settings that is indicated by a gear. What is gear and settings? How do they match? One is sitting inside a car or a watch, and the other is in your device. So how do they match? What is the reasoning behind all of this? It's not just limited to icons. Okay. What is the meaning of CC?
Carbon copy.
Okay, BCC.
Line carbon copy.
How is that carbon copy still relevant? Right? So let's go back to the 80s. 1981 in specific, Xerox machine and a mathematician, David Smith, along with a graphic artist, Norman Cox. These guys decided, or they made up the first icons. All right, they were very flat. And this got upgraded in 1984. Why? Because the OG came into the picture. Steve Jobs, Apple, with his Lisa Mac. And he onboarded Susan Carey, a graphic artist. And she put up these sliders and these other icons that you see in that Mac. Do you know why? Because when a device comes out, and then you have a lot of people who are not familiar with the device, for them to actually understand it, they find out the closest approximation of these things from our regular life, And they used that to communicate the idea. Fast forward 10 years. I'm going to refresh your memory. How many of you remember all of this? Right. For some others, it's the Jurassic Age. Right? So now these, see, remember that 3.5 floppy CD drive, D drive? All right. We had these icons which are now a 3D, a color 3D icons. This is something that happened in the next decade. And what happened after that? We had the iPhone come. But look at these. This was the first iPhone notes. It was like a paper. The calculator actually was similar to how a calculator looked like, and the alarm was this. But you can see the same language coming off here. So this particular design framework is called a SKU-morph. That is what you say to indicate a regular device, but the design is for that. Even though that design, that device plays no parts at all in how the device actually works. So you see this 3D graph coming into picture, and then from the 2010 onwards, it becomes a flat design. SKU-morph converts into flat. Now this is what the iPhone notes as well as this alarm device looks like. Remember Gmail, it used to look like an envelope. How many of us receive envelopes? We do receive, but it is slowly becoming obsolete. And just like that, the design is now becoming flat. Becoming back to what the 1981 first design came. So it's like a cycle. This is the current calculator, right? This is just how the save button is now shown nowadays in different ways. Floppy, it becomes a bookmark, and then it becomes this download button. Even bookmarks, how many of us use bookmarks? I know Anita uses bookmarks. She's famous in that. Yeah, there's another. So four amongst the rest of us, we don't use bookmarks. So some things are obsolete. But the first question about the floppy disk, why did it come out? It came out because we are the connecting generation. We connected between those who actually use those objects and our next generation who have not seen it at all. So the design evolves according to our coming generation. They don't need to be associated with the floppy disk. So design changes come in just like how our generation changes as well in their thinking. That's what we see in the flow of designs as well. Let's go back to the original question. Advanced find how that binocular was. Now it is a microscope. In Microsoft Word, you will not find binocular. But in the Mac, if you want to show that the Mac is being supervised from outside, there's a binocular button there. So ultimately, design icons will always reflect their purpose one day or the other. And we just happen to be witnesses to see this thing happening live. Over to you.
Next evaluator, I've lost it. He's a treat to hear, learn new things, new information whenever he's on stage here. All this you can do it for free, but if you want to hear him outside elsewhere, you have to pay. This guy has a very commanding voice, very comfortable on the stage here in front of an audience. His knowledge, his confidence, I mean, all of us have seen it. Like me, he too comes from the same city, Bangalore, India. Like me. He too minds his own business. Meanwhile, we stay in the same area. I see how I elevated myself. Toastmaster manual, can you read out the objectives of speaker number 3?
Thank you, Toastmasters, today for resonating what everybody feels in the club. And I charge a lot of money. So that's not completely true. Anyways, so leadership is about influence. Thank you, Surabila, for that really affirming word. And I have the privilege of evaluating Sukumar, a dear friend in the club, who is going to be doing his level 5 project 1. And I've been contemplating how seriously he's been taking this project because he's been logging himself off all the time. And yeah, so I really feel that he's done a lot of homework, and the purpose of this project is going to be to apply the skills needed to successfully lead in a volunteer or other organization. The purpose of the speech for him is for him to share aspects of the experience as a leader and the impact of a 360-degree evaluation. So these are the two purpose statements, and knowing Sukumar and his preparation, I think is going to do well. All the best.
One thing, there is no preparation.
Our speaker, passionate, dedicated, achiever, goal-oriented, team player. Well, these words fit him pretty well because if you have worked with him or on any of the projects, you will know this better. Or if you were in his team before, you would definitely know how it works. He is somebody who will actually chase you to get things done. If you don't do it, he would then help you achieve or help you in getting those things done. Kaif, we can add to it later, but right now it's all about me talking about him. And today we have our Toastmaster, Sukumar, who is going to do his level 5 project 1. Is it any different this time? Is it any different this time, Toastmasters? Suku.
If I said school holidays, what will be your reaction? Back to school. Oh, come on. Now close your eyes and just imagine that moment, that cusp when you're holding your dad's hands. You're about 11 years old, you're going to the market, you're buying new notebooks, new stationery, new books, new shoes, new shirt, new pant, new pen, everything new. You get your favorite snack, you get your favorite dessert, and you open your eyes. And when you come back home, you have all this beautiful time where you're sitting with your parents, covering those books, putting your favorite Superman label, for some of us it might be a Barbie label, and writing the name. Is it that wonderful? Toastmasters, right? Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, friends, 2 years back, when our then immediate past president, Toastmaster Yashodan Abhyankar, called me and said, "You're going to take up the role of president in the next term." Yeah, exactly. I had the same reaction at first. And then when he said that, well, you know me, I'm going to put you in this pot and I will stir it. And you need to start looking at your members because you are all going to work together. I felt like that student was at that particular cusp. Everything is new. I'm going to make new committee members, friends, new theme, new year, new plans, everything new. Wow. And in 1 week, along with the nominations committee, we started calling people. So the first person I called contemplated whether he needs to still remain a friend in the first place. Because I said, hey, my friend, Toastmaster Murli, will you be my VP Education? He said, there ends our friendship. I can be a member of your committee and we can work together, but nothing related to education. I can probably take VP membership. Then I call my dear mentor and I said, dear mentor, do you want to be a VP education? He said, no, I'm too busy selling things in my life. I don't want to sell myself now. So it's better that I take a lighter role and be a secretary. By then, XCOM realizes that this guy who has been put needs help, and they conjure up the world and bring someone who was in the slumber to become an active member, who was none other than Toastmaster Priyanka. Three major successes. And then, when we looked around for who the VPPR is, most of the members in the club have either taken a role, most of the members who are now there do not want to take a role. So we had to invent someone new. We had to go past 2 new members. Luckily, one ran away. He got a job. And the one who remained got stuck for 1 year in our team, who is none other than Toastmaster Kev. Just like he got stuck today. And then, of course, we needed to find a treasurer, the one who manages money. And again, jinx, deja vu, it happened. The lady who graciously stepped in to take up the role suddenly developed cold feet because she had an international competition to attend with. So I dial all my power and summon someone who cannot say a no to become a new member. And in comes Toastmaster Nubin Ansari, who had to accept the role of treasurer. And graciously enough, the committee found Toastmaster Pragati to be the sergeant at arms. In 1 week, mission is complete. May 14, 2022, 1.5 months before the actual term began, in Caribou, over coffee with cookies and some chocolates, we met for 3 long hours. I knew that this is a committee where we are not just members, we are friends, we'll rock on, we'll have our backs, we can kind of rely on each other, all things. We meet 3 to 4 times in the next 1.5 months and about 6 to 7 times over Zoom, to the level probably where everyone would have thought, where did we land into? But we were ready for the whole year. We knew exactly when the meetings will happen. We knew what are the meetings which are milestone. We knew who will be the keynote speakers in these milestone meetings. We had this vision of getting people from around the world to prepare WMC members for contest. We started working on that. So there were a lot of areas that we were check. And when the term began, we were knocking it off the park. Until we reached somewhere in the middle term. And in the first renewal, we saw that the membership that was 29 fell down to 23. And this stuff came in me. Is it any different this time? I remember this feeling when I was a little kid. When I was a student, somewhere when the shoes get worn, the bag becomes heavy, the books become old, and then the shirt has a blotch of ink. By then I would think, is it any different this time? The same school, same things, same results every time. So my mother noticed this and she told me, Kana, what is happening? And I said, look, I don't know, is it any different this time? She said, for the last 15 years of my life, I have been waking up, cleaning the house, cooking, cleaning the house, cooking. So if I felt, is it any different this time? Then it does not work that way. When I see you guys responding with a smile, when I see that you acknowledge what I do, I know that the little things that I am doing is making those changes. It might not look that you are doing those things, whatever you're doing now, are changing things around. But over a period of time, things will change. So the big me met the little me when I had that question. And I said, let's make this happen. And when we all 7 ExCom members came together, we started working on the same plan of enriching the members' journey towards excellence. And we, towards the end of the term, ended with actually 31 members. We did not do anything different. We did the same things, but we persisted. Ladies and gentlemen, there are several times in our life where at a certain cusp, we might feel that this is not working. But if we are consistent, if we are curious, and if we keep working on things the way we have always worked upon, then with 100% certainty, the change will happen around us because the change is happening within us. It is no different anytime. It is different every time because it starts from within. Just like James Clear in his book said, we change 1%, just 1%, every single day, consistently. And if we are curious, in a year, we would change 3,700%, or we would have changed 37 times without us realizing. Oh, so.
That 7-page evaluation that I had filled, I think every word probably was executed today. Great job. Now it's time to strike a pose. So we will all gather like the two of them, and we'll get a picture taken. Then we'll have our coffee.
They are running late, sir.
They're running late, so we'll try and come back onto your seats. You can carry your coffee and snacks and bring it on your tables where you sit if possible. Let's do it. Back pose.
Why always?
So that we can still close. You know, the reason we don't do the fitness, we continue to work. Now, again, try not to smile.
Okay. One, two, three. Laptop is there behind. Huh? It's a laptop. Thank you.
अच्छा वहाँ का अपना विषय so we are happy and don't worry, Siddhi, we will not miss you. I'm saying one thing so that we can
Now reply please. Yeah. We wish you all the very best. All the best. All the best. You come back. Stay in touch. You come back.
Very simple. All right, if we give a cake, we expect a buffet.
Thanks to the EXCOM for arranging. Okay, all. Fine.
Now you can have that, but we have and everyone is sending.
No, are you telling me this is the same cake?
See, Nikumar once he'll have a kirik putti, so he
When you get this.
I love the
Start giving it to that.
they get kind of point. Okay.
Take these sweets out.
What nice things about it. I see. So you'll be back. Welcome back. Hope you all have grabbed coffee, at least leave some behind. I will come back later. It's a pretty interesting topic. What do I say about this person who's going to conduct our table topic? Well, we've seen her wear different hats in the past, and she normally appears when she is given a role. Like celebrities, she also gets photographed to be put on in a magazine, newspaper, social media. And among friends, we call her the party popper because she can go from one party. Before I talk to her, let me introduce Toastmaster Priyanka to conduct the table topic session.
Toastmaster of the day, just to clarify, I'm not a party popper. Good evening, WMC. I can see everyone is enjoying their tank of coffee. I'm your daily topic master for today, and I've come up with some very simple, fun topics for the session. So, there's no need to hide or be scared. your name being called. So, just for the benefit of our guests and new members, the topic session is a segment designed to improve participants' impromptu thinking and quick thinking skills. It helps members develop the ability, think on their feet, articulate ideas, and become more comfortable with spontaneous speaking. The timing criteria is 1 to 2 minutes with 30 seconds break. We are today talking about goals, aspirations, achievements. I thought, why don't we take a small detour and drive down memory lane for a bit and reflect on how we were back then as compared to where we are now. Shall we start? Now, aside from my parents and teachers, one thing I used to stress over endlessly was my marks. So 98%, 99%, 99.5% also did not look good enough. So looking back, when I reflect, I feel I was really silly about it. Are marks something to be worried about? So I'd like to invite our first table topic speaker to share what's something you used to worry about all the time as a kid, but now find it funny or silly. And our first speaker is none other than Area Director Toastmaster Bhavin. I'll repeat the topic, so you've not heard it.
It was a roast, huh?
What's something you used to worry about all the time as a kid that now you find funny, silly, or ridiculous?
No, you did shake hands with me.
That's the protocol I said. Okay, looking at me, what you think I would have worried about when I was a kid, more of my stature. At least I'm okay now, but when I was a kid, I was very weak. People used to tell me, oh, when I have to take care of you, you will fly. If wind comes, you will fly away. Because I was so lean. And till 10th standard, I guess I was very, very lean and even of short stature as well. If you have seen my pics, if 15-year-old, you realize. After that, I got this growth birds. Then I become now I'm all right. This is what happened. And initially, what I felt being a weak or at the leaner side, that was weak, but being a lean or slim, it was not good. But after landing in the Gulf, I realized the other way around. And people will look at me and they'll ask, how are you maintaining this? This is what all about. And then, people at those days, bulky was maybe were good in 90s and 80s and all, being heavy for the build. But now what happened was that slim is all of a sudden getting to the popularity and you're maintaining yourself and everybody's conscious about their health. That's what shows up. And I don't have to reveal anything on that. It's because of my father's genes. I'm having this kind of a stature. I'm not doing any kind of exercise or definitely I do play a lot and I do walking and swimming. Apart of that, I don't do anything. But I'm not asking you all to follow that. I'm blessed with that, but definitely one has to worry about their physical appearance and their health and to be fit all the time. And do take up some activity, take up some sports. Okay, to take up some sports. Okay, so continue doing that and definitely do well. But just to conclude, what I was thinking of, it's bad things, being a slim was bad, but then I'm glad I came to know and I'm fit enough. Thank God I continue to be like that. Back to you.
Thank you, Tobin. I really envy you for this, and you can get back to enjoying your snacks. And I actually wanted the timer to stop the time because he kept on giving suggestions about do this, do that, and something very difficult to follow. Yes, moving on. So as a child, when I saw another child or another kid wearing a new pretty dress or shiny shoes, I think, wow, what a luxurious life they have. Even visiting a five-star hotel felt like ultimate luxury. But if you ask me now, just having a home cooked meal and relaxing in pajamas at home feels luxury to me. So I'd like to hear from our next speaker, what is your idea of what was your idea as luxury as a kid and how that has changed now? So we will hear this from our second speaker, Toastmaster Roy. I'll repeat the question. What was your idea of luxury as a kid and how has that changed now?
All our dreams can come true if you can pursue the dream, said Walt Disney. Toastmaster of the day, sorry, table topics master, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, good evening. One thing always haunted back in mind during my childhood was how to become rich. I was walking from home to schools, to universities, and I could see some of my friends coming by bicycle. It was kind of luxury at that time, in motorcycles. And very rarely I saw cars on the road in our small village. Always I was imagining when I will get this car to drive. It was a small car, Maruti 800. This was working behind my mind, and finally, I'm now driving Audi Q8. So, if you ask me, what is as a child, what is luxury means? At the time of childhood, luxury was all this about. But still, what I feel is that even for everyone, you need to have a rich mindset. You have to change your mindset. So I urge you, sometimes you take your time and go to an expensive restaurant or an expensive coffee shop and have coffee or food and see the people, and you build your mindset towards achieving your financial goals. That's all. Thank you.
And whenever possible, do give us a ride in your Audi. So I would also like to go to these coffee shops. It was just for the trip, by the way, the pajamas and all. These are being made. So, Toastmaster Vivek, BPPR, you will not be called for the table topic session, so you can skip one of those points. Next. So, mom don't understand me or dad just doesn't get it. Those were the complaints back then. I used to think adults never understood our feelings or problems. I'm sure all of us might have experienced this. But now, standing on the other side as a parent, I realized that they understood everything. It was me as a child who didn't quite grasp life at that time. So our guest, Mr. Johnson, what's a big misconception you had about adults when you were a kid? Do you still believe it? I would like to invite our guest, Johnson.
Thank you, and very good evening, everyone. So, when talking about the same question, so I thought when I was 15 or 16, I thought all the people who aged 30 years or 32 years are the means eldest one. They have something, though they are in some other position, or they have something, and they are someone with their mind or with their mindset. They are someone, or they are the eldest one. So now I can relate that. Now I can feel that when I am in that stage, now I can relate that all those are small kids. So that's it.
How many Bollywood fans do we have here? None?
Yeah, Bollywood, Tollywood,
Bollywood. मुझे देखा कोई जाना सनम, a song we used to play on loop, followed by कोई मिल गया मेरा दिल गया, and which used to make us blush during our, when we were in school. And who can forget the ultimate song, Dil To Pagal Hai, Dil Deewana Hai. So back then, love was in the air, but today, it seems like it's flown off the window. And if given a chance, I would want to relive those years when, love was in the air. So let's hear from our next speaker. If you could time travel back any year of your life, when would it be and why? Toastmaster Norman. I will repeat the question. Pagal hai to deewana hai, but now we feel we both are pagal and deewana.
Start with that, sports.
Yeah.
If you could time travel back to any year of your life, when would it be and why?
I would like to travel to the year of 2008. Good evening, everyone. The reason I would like to travel to that particular year was I was throughout my educational time, I was an average student. My percentage used to be 60, 70, and I was not much noticed in the class as well. But I remember when I had reached to the MBA while I was doing my MBA, and when there was a first semester was there, the total count was around 60 people were there, and that time in the first semester itself I had stood fourth rank in the class, and then that was the time I was highlighted in the class, and people knew there was someone called as Norman. And yes, then like as usual, we start communicating with the girls as well because we had to make presentations, case studies, and all. And there I had come across one girl, and believe it or not, I am still in touch with that girl. But as a friendly way, because just after our education, like our MBA, she got married, and I had attended her wedding, and I had given a speech also. But yes, and yes, even till today, like whenever her birthday is there, I am wishing her. When my birthday is there, she is wishing, and even during Diwali also. So still very in touch. And what I would like to say is, it's not necessary that like love is something which you need to get it. Love can be happiness also. Like both sides, if they are happy, then it is okay. That's what I would like to share.
हाँ तो जीतने वाले को बाजीगर कहते हैं. So Norman, anyway, see, time travel and all is just a myth. There's nothing like that. It was just for fun. So come back. 2024. All right. So no more questions from me now. With all those interesting comments, I enjoyed conducting the session. Hope you all also enjoyed the session. Thank you all very much. Wish you all a very happy.
This Toastmaster who's going to enroll us next. Where do I start? She sent me, she's the only person who sent me something about But you know what? If I were to go by what she said, I think I will let her do the icebreaker again. But I've cut short and made my own. The dermatologist, cosmetologist, and married to a neurologist.
Wow.
All is And they all work, and both of them work with Al Hilal Hospital, a medical group. giving her an icebreaker. She not just spoke about her college, which was the Calicut Medical University. She actually transformed all of us who heard her then into the college, into had a peek at her college life, campus. It was so vividly put across at that point in time. And she's going to take us through the next session, which is lighter moments. Her talent, she's a talent person, dancing artist, drummer, a whole lot of events that she participated and won awards. Oh, by the way, she also drives a cool Audi Silver Grey. That is what time I introduce her. So,
Okay, next question. Do you own Al Hilal?
she is a stakeholder at Al Hilal. Let me now call upon Toastmaster Dr. Sitara.
A lady in her late 20s was on a long distance train journey. She had comfortably settled in a wrong lower berth, unaware of the ruckus she was about to create. And then the rightful owner, a man with his young son, boarded. But even after repeated plea, she refused to give up the berth. So desperate, the man turned to the TT and said, "Sir, this lady is not giving birth to my child." The TT's eye popped out. Good afternoon, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. This scenario signifies the importance of proper language in communication. So as a doctor, or as doctors, we do come across several such events in our day-to-day practice. So here's an example of one of our senior physicians. Okay, he recalled an amusing encounter while he was trying to convince a husband of his patient to make her admitted in the hospital for 2 days. Okay, they were actually on a visit, like from some neighboring country. So despite that language barrier, after a long lecture, which could even rival a Shakespearean play, he somehow convinced the husband for the admission. So this man, who was very keenly listening to the doctor, he reverted. "So, doctor, my wife sleep with you for 2 nights?" The doctor's jaw dropped. There was a moment of stunned silence. So as he didn't get reply, he repeated the question. "Okay, doctor, fine. My wife sleep here with you for 2 nights?" Now the doctor regained his wits and with a beaming smile, he said, yes, your wife sleep here for 2 nights. And you should have seen the sparkle in his eyes while he was recalling this during one of our coffee breaks. Now, let's switch to my OPD, the dermatologist's chamber. Seated across me was a patient who was concerned about the scars on his face. So I meticulously examined the patient's skin with all the available equipments I have, the torch, the magnifying lens, from different angles, just like Sherlock Holmes solving a mystery. And after a dramatic pause, I made my statement. "Oh, you have depressed scars." And I was about to continue when I noticed that pale look on his face. And in a desponding tone, he asked, "So even the scars on my skin are depressed, ma'am?" How can I blame that gentleman? For he was referring to mental depression, the only kind of depression he was aware about. But I was discussing a type of skin scar. I should have been a bit more mindful while using that usage, right? So such lighter moments do brighten up our busy schedules. But I'm so grateful to my patients for they are the textbooks from which I learn lessons every day. And I do respect their privacy and integrity. Thanks. Over to you.
Well, our president is not here. Are we having a business session?
Yes.
Yes.
I hand over control back to the president, not the acting president, because you don't act.
She had a serious look on her face.
Thank you for the first of the day. To begin with,
It's a short meeting, meeting number 484, conducted on 1 November 2024. After the presentation, it included the history of Toastmasters International, inspiring stories of Marco Polo and women's viewers. Toastmasters of the day was Ryan Jangi, and he was taking company advertising. After role play, there was international workshop by CK Anand Joseph. The educational session had two speakers, Toastmasters Superintendent from Cable Level 1 College, and Toastmaster Emmanuel Williams, which gave this level 5 project funds, which valued the session was with sustainability. It was suggestions for us to do as well. The award session, the best of that was Toastmaster Ron Sambar as our founder. Best of the movie that he was Toastmaster Craig Jackie. Best speaker was Toastmaster Siddharth Vedaran, and best graduator was Toastmaster Vedaran. Thank you. I request someone of you to adopt the agenda.
You know, only I was not. I was there in the meeting.
someone to second it. Thank you. So we don't have the treasurer here to the treasurer report. The PPR.
You know what I'm going to speak. Right, so this particular release of eloquence is going to happen in February. It's like a jumbo release of eloquence. Please share your articles. We'll be publishing them, and it's going to be special because it's our pilot meeting as well. Generally, it could have been released in January and it would be middle of now. Then I would be collecting and collating all the articles. So please feel free to share what you got for eloquence, and this one is special because it's a pilot meeting release. So give out your best output for it. Nothing else from my side. Please provide or share your own means so that I can submit that for get that kind of an award or an article that will share in LinkedIn whatsoever. There's prizes for that as well. This is all from my side. Over to you, ma'am.
Current strength is 27 members. And we are not for 28, but one.
But will you achieve that points this year? I mean, this first half you need to achieve some points, right? To be extinguished. Well,
We continue like this.
Education. Now, December 6th will be our contest. On December 6th, we'll have international speech contest and a table topic contest, and the second humorous speech and evaluation contest is scheduled on 10th of January. So we have, as of now, we have 5 speakers for the international speech contest.
Wow.
And
Very nice. First time after 3 or 4 years, we have more than the members of the members for international.
and hopefully I may pull in 1 or 2 more for the international speech because for the international speech we have this level 2 completion criteria, so that's why we are finding it hard. For the table topics, we have 9 table topic speakers who have been enrolled as of now. And we have for the cumulative speech, the number is even higher because for that we don't have any eligibility criteria. We have all the newbies who have volunteered to be contested. So that is how as a contest, and every other preparations are in the flow. Chief judge and every other role players are already set, and looking forward for everyone's cooperation. So that's it from DP education side. And as president, actually Prabhudas did not mention anything in specific. Yeah, we have one. Over to you, Agent Director.
Not any director, that's not my president. Previous president, okay.
Yeah,
I received a letter from, Toastmasters, regulating errors to the last term. I would be president in the class.
Your last call.
I guess I meet all the just to come there. And there's some words they mentioned about on behalf of Toastmasters International Board of Directors. Sincerest congratulations are extended to your club for achieving the President's Distinguished Club designation for the 2023-2024 program year. And the electric as well, and will print this as well. And I would like to congratulate my entire team. I guess we never had this many members in our term as because all the VPPR is here, VP membership is here, like VP education, yeah, all are there. Wow. Okay, so I guess except nobody's, all of us are here. So it's moment to celebrate. And another announcement, area contest is on 31st of January. If you are not taking, you're not contesting in the club contest, I would like to encourage you all to participate in the club contest. If you are not contesting, be part of the area contest because we need many people. I need the committees as well are backing on your support. This is my home club. I have to rely on your support, and I'm sure you will support me. Back to you.
Thank you.
You need more participants, you also need more.
I need the rule clear.
Yeah, but
Only who are not contesting and they are not winning, they will be eligible for that. If you are contestant, you cannot be part of that.
So we don't have anyone who's not a
Sir, when is the division contest?
31st of January.
No, division.
A division is April.
April.
But on February 7th, there are 4 to 5 area contest. That's fine, that will manage our thing. But this will.
February 7 is our final meeting.
Yeah.
One more thing about the 500 meeting. Core committee is being formed to discuss about the 500 meeting, and we had a discussion during the last meeting after the meeting was done about your ideas, requesting for your ideas and suggestions to how to take the meeting forward or what to incorporate in the meeting. And based on your opinions and suggestions, we have actually moved it forward. So the details will be. Priyanka is the event chair for the program, the 500 meeting. Priyanka will be the event chair, and she is coordinating with every other member in the group, and all polls and suggestions and all everything was asked to the members. And please cooperate with her and with everyone. We all have to work together because it's a huge event. Without everyone's support, we will not be able to take it forward. So, event chair will be coordinating with every one of us. That's it about 500. Thank you. That's it. Event chair, anything you want to share?
Yeah, it will take time.
The audience and the members are looking to.
Good. What? Then I will go on which.
So you are in that.
Yeah, please.
Oh, why don't I? For those of you who don't have.
We have to open the jewel box.
Yes. Something about expenses.
From the club, access fund.
So that's it.
Thank you. Most of us know that we want to know how we perform on a certain topic, be it education, we want to know our marks. Be it work, at workplace, we want to get a appraisal. Like that, we also have general evaluation, evaluator who will evaluate how the meeting went. To do this, we have our former president, a good talented speaker, humorous king of the club. Some people call him Yesh, some call him Yesh Vardhan. The ladies call him Yesh Shu.
Yes, show, yes, show.
Yesh Shu, Yesh Shu. You will know better. Call him Yesh Shu, but I stand corrected, or added one more, Yesh Shu. But his official name is Yashodhan Abhyankar. Will do our G, will be our G, general evaluator for this evening. Let me invite Toastmaster Yashodhan Abhyankar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The general evaluation was supposed to start at 5:30 and is starting at 6:50. 5:50, sorry. Starting at 6:10. So that's the tone of the meeting and that's going to be the tone of the general evaluation. As a general evaluator, my duty is to evaluate the entire meeting and give some suggestions for the improvement, which obviously I'm not going to do because it's of no use. Whatever suggestions the evaluators are giving, we don't accept that, we don't work on that because we don't want to change. Correct? Yes, there was a suggestion that let's move this break towards the end. So we continue the meeting in a flow, we finish the meeting in time, then we enjoy our snacks and chit chat and everything. We never tried that. We do that only during Ramadan because we are forced to do that. Otherwise, we don't try that because we don't want to change. There was a suggestion that members should voluntarily come here for table topics. And even today, table topic master is calling the members to come here and deliver the speech. Why? Because we don't want to change. The evaluations is the critical part of Toastmastering where somebody will note down what are the areas where there is a room for improvement. But we don't take that seriously. Today, let us see what our evaluators are going to do. I've given them the free hand. They are having the guns with them and they are going to shoot all the speakers. So let's welcome the first revolver. Toastmaster Cat to evaluate the speech given by Toastmaster Hita. Before that, can we have the timing for all the speeches?
Toastmaster Hita took 6 minutes 43 seconds. Toastmaster Vivek took 7 minutes 3 seconds. And Toastmasters Sukumar took 9 minutes, 47 seconds.
So all are. Yeah. So Toastmaster Cat, the floor is yours. You. Done.
Toastmaster Hita Krishna, if I had to evaluate his speech, let's not go to the speech first. If I had to evaluate, let's say you sent me a speech with every single word you said today, with every single line delivered, with the whole body, I would have given it a solid 10 out of 10. Speech was crafted perfectly. It was such good humor and all of us engaging. And overall, I really loved the way you prepared. Preparation is a solid 10 on 10. You achieved all of your objectives. You used the whole stage. You did every single thing which was mentioned here. And I must say, you really did prepare, and I love it. Round of applause. So while preparation was a 10 on 10, if I had to evaluate the delivery, I would give it a 6.7 out of 10. You would ask me why, and there are always, certain points which we need to work on. So now the main point which I saw, and I've seen it a lot of Toastmasters, usually an indication of nervousness. It happens, it's even happened to me in my initial stages. We give a lot of pauses. For example, I am talking now with a lot of pauses. So that kind of ruins the whole speech. And in the speech, initially, towards 70% of the speech, I saw too many pauses. There were some good pauses, but then it just got so repetitive that towards some point, your speech body was 10 on 10, the content was 10 on 10, every single thing was 10 on 10. But we just couldn't differentiate the body anymore. We couldn't differentiate the timelines anymore because there were pauses everywhere. And that sort of makes some speeches boring. But you did catch the audience back. Your amazing humor, Dr. Study's line, immediately brought everyone back. Everyone got engaging. And then all of a sudden, I saw a change in your pattern. Your voice modulation became good again. You started using a more higher pitch, a more higher tone on places where you had to, and a lower tone in places where you didn't have to, and the pauses decreased too. So what I noticed what happened there was once you got a good feedback from the audience, you got a bit more comfortable, and these little problems vanished away. Again, these are not some major issues. Once you gain more confidence on the stage, they will ultimately vanish. I want you to practice your speeches in front of a mirror. That sometimes helps. And I want you to record yourself while you're practicing and see how many pauses you really get. So pauses are very important to work on. Moreover, there's also some slight grammatical errors. Those are not so big, but we should really take that into consideration if you're ever competing. That could really be something you should work on. And then apart from that, you had an amazing way to end it. Towards the end of the speech, it was all a banger. I loved it towards the end. The starting, I think since it's just your second speech, there were a few places where you could work on, but overall, I love the speech. Do work on your pauses, do work on your voice modulation, and always come here with confidence. Everybody else, they're lower than you. That's how you should think. Thank you.
Okay, that was a positive feedback with some takeaways for your speaker, right?
Yeah, just 2 roses and 3 bullets.
Now, after the revolver, we have got a rifle to come. John, your time to bring your speaker, Toastmaster video.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I'm probably going to jeopardize my friendship with Toastmaster Vivek, but well, I would say I really enjoyed the speech, and there was a great comment on his vocal clarity. I did not feel like there was no lack of confidence. There was immense, what do I say? Immense confidence and execution of how he communicated. There was this resonance with the audience, and I was wondering, probably, like I've noticed the times where Vivek have come forward, and I used to see like he doesn't really try to be humorous, but today I could see that it was done so effortlessly. There was this quick pauses, and he did not rush through his speech. There was a very good pace that he kept throughout the whole minutes that he went through. maybe it is the presentation that he had. The only feedback that I would really want to give is the using of the floor that you had. Because even though you had the PPT, you could have made sure that you moved across the floor. And I've noticed that when you communicate, the gestures are very restricted within your below the elbows. You could use your body more to communicate. And just a quick other part, like the presentation was excellent. I loved how the details were there. And while we had a word in the break, it was wonderful to know that you drafted the entire thing by yourself. It looked so great that I was assuming that it was probably downloaded from somewhere. But hats off to the presentation. And the only point again that I want to mention is I felt like towards the end you rushed to the conclusion. I was trying to, there was a good start, and the body was also going at a good pace. But towards the end, I was getting lost of where what exactly this was going. And the conclusion felt like you had to just get it there so that the time did not overshoot. But more or less, I'm amazed with how you delivered your speech, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from you. Thank you.
Before the beginning of the meeting or during the break, I requested other Kev and Don, both of them, to be little bit hard to the point and don't just do buttering. But I specifically purposely did not tell this to Emmanuel. For the obvious reason is that I love his way. He comes here with the gun and he's from the word go, he starts firing. So we saw the revolver, we saw the yes. So sniper slash machine gun slash evaluator, Toastmaster Emmanuel.
Please file a murder report. Give me a police station. That's where I live.
I'm not quite sure what's the perception of the club about me, because I don't know whether it's positive or it's an oxymoron. Okay. So by a show of hands, does anybody know what is the most important aspect of communication? Right. So it's body language, which we call as non-verbal communication. And if there's anything that I could talk about this evening's takeaway from my friend Sukumar's speech was his beautifully put body language, which was very, very reflective of his emotions and what he was trying to say. So that was the biggest takeaway from his speech. And apart from that, there were several other things that he did very well. But before we get into all of that, let me do the formalities of saying good evening to all of you. And then take it back to the speech of the feedback. So Sukumar obviously has improvised his level of expressions in speech from the last time I saw him speaking was when I became the member of this club. So that quite tells you how old it has been since he ever gave his last speech. So, Sukumar, obviously the takeaway was about understanding your nonverbal communication. Your gestures were great. Your eye contact was so good that you really ensured you did justice to each and everyone here. The way you moved around to tell and showed that you really were talking into everybody's minds. Your voice modulation was great. I would have appreciated if that was more consistent, but it was the effects of your voice modulation really gave away a lot what we could take off. Your vocabulary was very balanced. I don't think you used any words that people could not understand. Your speech was very clear. Now, obviously, there's so many things that that you've done are great, but there's obviously going to be more that you can do better, knowing where you come from. So, talking about improvisations, I would tell you there are three things that I was going to emphasize, which was very important for you. One was, of course, the stage utilization, right? Someone like you was experienced. Subconsciously, you were barriered by these two benches over here. So you stuck yourself between these two, which is why very consciously I'm trying not to be there. So that was a good takeaway. The other thing was your story was not connecting the dots. There were bits and pieces of the story where we were trying to understand. You moved from school to your Toastmasters journey leadership, and then went back to your personal story, quite not convincing about what your leadership experience was, which was the purpose of your very speech. So that is one part, and your structure was something that I would have wanted better from you, because the start was something like I expected there's going to be a lot of story into it, because that is something you know very well, if not anybody, that sells better. So in summation, the 3 S's, I usually like to give acronyms in terms of what people can take away. It's more easier to remember. The 3 S's that I would emphasize are stage, story, and structure. Nothing really much, but I think you can work on this. You're better than that. Thank you. Sorry, sir.
Those are also a part of the. Yes, I'm sure all the speakers will take these evaluations in a positive spirit. These are all for your betterment, for your learning as well as our learning. Right. So, dear timer, can we have the timings for the evaluations as well as all other timings?
So for evaluations, Toastmaster F took 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Toastmaster Don took 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Toastmaster Emmanuel took 3 minutes and 9 seconds. There are no disqualifications. Toastmaster Chitara took 3 minutes and 41 seconds. For table topics, Toastmaster Owen took 2 minutes, 14 seconds. Toastmaster Roy took 2 minutes and 1 second. Toastmaster Norman took 1 minute and 40 seconds, and Guest Johnson took 33 seconds. Coming to the agenda, we started pretty much on time. We just had 1 or 2 minutes a delay until the Toastmaster of the day was introduced, and the jam took. It took 8 minutes, so that caused a delay of 10 minutes for each session. So the educational session started at 4:47 p.m. The break started at 5:20 and it was supposed to be a 5 to 10 minutes break, but it ended at 5:36 p.m. The library movement started at 5:52, the business session started at 6 p.m. and the general evaluation at 6:10. So we basically have like a delay of 10 20 minutes.
We extend the meeting for 15 minutes, but the timer is rightly mentioned where we are standing. Yes.
We will not.
See, we always start our meetings exactly at 4 o'clock. Then by the time we finish the business session, we are in line with the time. And by the time we start the general evaluation, we are in that catching up game. So today's culprit was none other than our Toastmaster.
Let's not jam in now.
First of all, I would like to congratulate him for coming up with some new idea. It was something very unique and started very well. It was something different than what we normally do in our meetings. So congratulations for that. But at the same time, he should have checked, he should have thought that it's going to take around 8 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. He should have spoken to the ExCom. He could have made the proper arrangement of the timings so that we could have finished today's meeting in time. I like his witty way of introducing all the role players. So 100 marks for that. But what about the theme, yeah? Your theme was now and then, or then and now, whatever. But that theme did not reflect in your Toastmasters.
The goal was to find out that.
At the end of the meeting, we are still confused about what the theme was. So just work on the theme as well in a little bit better way. More than you, the president was very much into that theme. They should not be on. Yes, of course, I'm going to come to that later. And in fact, Toastmaster literally has stolen his theme. In his presidential address, he was talking more about the goals and how the goals were changed and all, which was supposed to be delivered by Toastmaster of the day. So, of course, he's not there, so I'm going to convey this to him as well, that his presidential speech should be something different. If it is in line with theme, then that needs to be discussed with Toastmaster of the day, so that both are in line. But then, even the presidential speech, what happened was at the end he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, or fellow Toastmasters," and then we got to know that okay, president's speech is over, then we need to plan. So the presidential speech is also a mini speech which should land properly, and the member should know, okay, now this is ending, so it's time for us to clap. It's not a clue where, okay, now it is finished, so we clap. So that needs to be changed. He needs to work on the presidential speech. About the beginning of the meeting, 100 marks over Sergeant at Arms. Even I have mentioned it to him again. Every time when he comes here and starts the meeting and with that full energy and power, hats off to you. I have not seen many Sergeant at Arms like you who contains so much of power and energy in the very beginning of the meeting.
Today there was special effects also, my taps.
Again, humble request to EXCOM as well, like we had that nice beautiful ceremony in between where we cut the cake. So that also could have planned in little better way. So again, I know the story behind it, but then ultimately the net effect is like it was not there in the agenda, it was not planned. So we did not have the specific time slot, which resulted in passing the motion of increasing the time.
It's not my fault.
Not your problem. And last, two comments. One for Toastmaster Hita for having that wonderful session of lighter movement. Sitara, sorry, not Hita, Sitara. My apologies. And just one beautiful small segment we had in between. Save all these experiences, and that will be a wonderful humorous speech for the contest. So you have got the competition. And Priyanka, her topics were in line with the theme, and the one good thing which all of us we need to learn from her, that before and after every table topic, she had her own comments. Like when she gave the topic, it emerged from some dialogue in the beginning, and after the table topic got over, she commented on that topic, on that speaker, and then moved forward. That is something we should all learn from that. So these were the facts about today's meeting. I don't want to spend more time, I don't want to waste more time because it's already 6.
Our counter.
Sorry. Just in the rush of finishing the. So now, may I request our counter to give his report, please.
I found very minimum use of filler words just for the report. Toastmaster Prabodhaji used and a combination of 5 times. Toastmaster Murli 7. Toastmaster Lily just once. Toastmaster Priyanka 2. Toastmaster Roy 5. Toastmaster Norman 5, Toastmaster Vivek 5, and there were 3 times repeated words. Toastmaster Don just 1, Toastmaster Emmanuel 3, and Toastmaster Kev 2. The highlights were Toastmaster Ovid, Toastmaster Hita, Toastmaster Sitara, and Toastmaster Sukumar. I couldn't find any number of so.
Thank you very much. So it's now turn for our grammarian, Toastmaster Sulhila, to present her.
Really confused where would I start with. What would I start with actually? It's not going to be an individual dissection anyways. I deliberately in my opening address did not mention, I just told about the word of the day and did not request anyone to use the word of the day, assuming that all these years that Toastmasters maybe would have enabled you with the basic understanding that when a word of the day is introduced, it has to be used. It was just 2 of us who used it, except me. It was Emmanuel once and Sukumar once, so not beyond that. But it is 4 cases. Okay, and coming to general usage, some wrong grammatical usages when we speak, there were a lot, but then see the basic thing, like in every sentence, there's a formula or there's a pattern for a sentence which has to be a subject plus a helping verb as an object. So many a times we miss this helping verb. We just create sentences in our conveniences which has to be avoided. Then there were speakers who used as if whether I'm going to jump. As if and whether cannot be used together. They are two words which gives us similar meanings. It could be, I don't know whether, and as if it may happen or like that, it had to be. And make it socially approved could have been make it socially appealing. Then finish the meeting in time or on time. I don't know if Yash meant it in time, but then we can use both in time and on time are right, but then both has different meanings. When you say on time, it has to be specifically at that particular time, and in time, somewhere around the time. So I don't know if you meant on time or in time, but right usage has to be more. Then about even though the TMOD couldn't contemplate with a theme, in our goal towards better speakers, we had a theme of lesser usage of weak words. Of course, I couldn't find any thankfully. A few which I noticed was the question he asked me, how is my diet going and all. So it could have been framed better. The PowerPoint looked so great. Instead of that, it could have been looked stunning or some better usage. Then he is always traveling. Instead of that, it could have been he constantly travels. So these are the few words. And surprisingly, there is some strange usages that I found which I never will forget. Argentina was disgusting. Was it disgusting or did I hear it wrong? That was Argentina was disgusting in Croatia has been World Cup. For the first time I'm hearing a World Cup and adjectives, such an adjective to the World Cup. And it was strange, in fact, and of course there were very takeaways for me. There were many good usages, but there are a few takeaways for me. One was QMOF by in Vivek's presentation. That was a totally new word that I have not heard before. Oxymoron by that was a familiar word, but then oxymoron was used. Then I strongly believe Vivek, your speech. I was the inspiration for your speech. And he does come across as a shy person with usage probably. And you may think I'm small, but I have an universe inside me. That was a beautiful quote. And that's all from my side. Thank
Before, just a passing remark for these 3 roles, especially as we call them tag. So just always remember that there is one award like best of tag. So whenever you take up one of these roles, start thinking like, how can I win that award? That will bring the best out for me. Like, try to do something different, which probably you should aim to get that award, so that will add a different spice to your role as well as to the in the meeting. So think about that, like whenever you take these roles, then how can I do it in a different way? And then you will enjoy it and others also will enjoy it. Over to Toastmasters.
How many minutes can I spend? There was one observation that I've been wanting to say of the time in a meeting. Thought, now I have had the privilege of saying it. I've noticed most of the Toastmasters saying thank you after coming here or doing a role and say thank you. Actually, you don't have to say this word thank you, because I believe that is what I've been told as a Toastmaster, that you are doing the rest of us a favor when you're addressing, be it a speech, be it your role play, or bringing in something. You don't say thank you, because the effort that you have taken to come here or stand anywhere and speak, that itself is something that we, the others in the audience, are thinking of it. So you don't have to thank.
Balance it out.
Okay. Ballot box or the ballot, not box, the ballot voting is out and you can just vote. By the way, there was one more person who used the word of the day, mother conveniently forgot.
And the mother has not heard now.
Mother has not yet, even now.
Even now.
No.
No, not me, not me. The daughter used.
Oh, okay. Oh, contemplate.
No, the mother never is comfortable. On the way back home, the daughter has all the right to ask whatever she wants for the weekend.
But you were showing your hand and saying, I use it 3 times, 3 times.
But she starts.
Three people used it. Two. She only did. But then I think I took enough time. Like the gentleman elevator said, that I overshot on that. To be honest, all of you had a chance to talk. I would like to invite the president to take over and say that I was not responsible for overshooting the time.
Actually, I have a note which is given by Prabodaji. When he left, he asked me to read this presidential closing. So if I am to, because he already had a script with him, so he just handed it over to me. So if I am supposed to read this, our Toastmaster today controlled the meeting perfectly and on time. So I will not keep worrying.
There goes the
And for that, let us give him a big round of applause. Even otherwise, he deserves a big round of applause. And anyone have any concern or anything to update or something? Else because the script says so good. I'm going to follow the script. Can I hear from the guests your feedback for the meeting?
Yeah, it was a wonderful session. So this is the second time I'm attending this session.
Yeah.
So compared to the last session, this session engaged me even more. And it was a right to come into the.
You will enjoy your session, so keep coming and.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You want to say something?
No, but
The word today no more. It was a very entertaining meeting.
A lot of people who I wanted to see them speak actually spoke today, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone else who I really see as idols here actually come up and speak. And yeah, that's
I don't leave them alone and forget about WMC. She knows, they know everything about what is happening. So there are certain people who actually lose support.
So did they do justice or did they disappoint? So you can cite the GE and say, oh, they all disappointed.
Send us the responses later.
Thank you so much. And other results ready? Yes. Okay. Yeah, you can already. Yeah, I request the TMO here. Yashmi is general evaluator. Okay. The best speaker, Toastmaster, Hita Krishna.
Samantha presenting it to me.
And you keep friend on that line.
Yes.
Okay, repeat.
The best evaluator.
Wait, I'm going to repeat it.
Really?
Okay.
You should say it, you should not say it. Done.
I never said so, throw some light on me.
Is it the gun or I don't know which category?
Gun, rifle.
The best evaluator, of course, is Toastmaster Manuel.
Thank you, sir.
Should I announce my award?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the best of tag is me as a comedian. You get a chance to give the certificate this time. The best of TMOD, GE and TTM. That's Toastmaster Priyanka Gaitwal.
That is a good one.
Is she giving it to me or?
The way you're standing, she's
And the best table topic commentator is Toastmaster Norman. So the meeting. Thank you so much. The meeting number 495. 495 adjourned. Our next meeting is on 6th December. That will be a contest meeting, an international speech and table topics speech. So everyone who has enrolled yourself as contestants, please start preparations. Any requirements from my side, from our side, please, because some of them were requesting for videos which will help you prepare yourself. speed is around. So if that's such many requirements, then you want to leave me or maybe a bit after the we'll do it.
Well, mission and for international.